APR, today's best country.
Victoria Banks is no stranger to the AVR morning show with her music. Now I'd like to welcome her to the show for the first time. Good morning, Victoria. How are you?
I'm great, Jerry. I'm really happy to be talking to you for the first time.
Well, you know what? Yesterday we were just talking about a little bit of a story. I'd like to hear about it now. You were out in your flip-flops, and today you're wearing your winter boots. What happened?
Yeah, that's one of the side effects of being on tour this time of year. Because this weekend I had some shows down in Atlanta, Georgia. So, of course, I was wearing my flip-flops, and it was about 80 degrees. And then I got in the car and started driving and got up to Sarnia, Ontario last night, kicking off my big promotional tour across several provinces of Canada. I woke up this morning to a beautiful blanket of winter wonderland snow. So I'm putting my snow boots on this morning.
Ouch. All right, well, let's talk about you coming back to the Maritimes. You're coming back with Reba in September, and you and Reba are actually friends. It's not the first time that you guys have been touring together.
That's right. Yeah, I got a chance to tour with her last fall out in Western Canada, and it was just the most amazing experience. And I was so excited when she invited me to join her again for the East Coast. I have a real soft spot for the East Coast. I haven't spent nearly as much time out there as I want to, and it's my favorite part of Canada. So I'm really excited to come back out there and share the stage with her, and especially, Reba being an absolute icon of country music. You can't get much better than that. She puts on an amazing show, and I always learn so much from watching her and listening to her. And of course, I can sing along with every word of her songs too, because I cut my teeth on her country music. So it's amazing to share the stage with her.
Now, when you're on tour with Reba, you obviously get a chance to talk with her, find out what she's like. From a behind-the-scenes kind of perspective, what's Reba McEntire really like? People like me never get to find out.
Well, you always wonder when you meet someone that you've looked up to for a lot of years what they're going to be like, and you really hope that they're not going to be rude or mean or, disappointing. And with Reba, she was absolutely just as classy in person as she seems, and she just is really down to earth, and she would come and have dinner at the catering table and just sit there with all the crew and all of us, and there was no special star treatment for her, and I really loved that about her, and we just sat there and chatted about our lives, and it's pretty amazing. She probably deserves to have a giant head at this point in her career, but she really doesn't.
Now, you have a new CD coming out, Victoria, next Tuesday, and with all the awards you've won over the last 2 years, was there any pressure on you when you started making this new CD?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I had a good 10 years to make my first CD when I finally got around to making it, because I'd spent so many years writing songs for other people. So, I had all these songs collected, and I made the CD, and then, lo and behold, you put your first CD out, and all of a sudden there's a whirlwind of touring and traveling and craziness that goes on. And before you know it, a year and a half has flown by, and people are going, okay, so it's time to go back in the studio and make number 2. And, going in there again, it just feels like you just came down off Mount Everest, and now you have to climb it again. But so I had a few sleepless nights going into the studio for the second record, and especially after just having won CCMA Female Artist of the Year and Songwriter of the Year, and everybody was kind of looking at me saying, "What are you going to do next?"
Yeah.
So. But, I collected the songs together, and there were some songs that I had written prior to the first record that were being saved for album number 2 that I didn't think people were really ready to hear yet, on the first record. And also I had written some in the interim between records. And when it all came together and I had a chance to go into the studio and start recording it, it just came alive in a way I was so excited about. So I'm more excited, I'd have to say, about this record than I even was about the first one. I think it digs a little bit deeper and hopefully set the bar higher.
Well, I hope you avoid the sophomore curse, that's for sure. Are there any special... You're welcome. Any special guest writers or performers on the new CD?
Definitely writers on this record. I've wrote several of the songs with Rachel Proctor, who's a great friend of mine, a great co-writer, and I'm not sure if folks remember her name, but a few years back she had her own record deal through Nashville, and she had a big hit song called Me and Emily that was an amazing song. So Rachel's gone into full-time writing now, so we write together just about every week. And also, the first single, Come On, was a song that I co-wrote with a duo called the Jane Deere Girls, who are having quite a bit of success right now with their song Wildflower. They just sort of broke out as artists themselves. So definitely a few familiar names on the CD anyway.
Well, when I was checking out your new CD online, one of the credits you throw up there is for Thistle Farms. How did you get involved with them?
Oh, yeah, that's an amazing organization. Thistle Farms is basically a place where women who have been the victims of violence or have lived on the streets can, find a place to be, a safe place to be. And it's associated with a program called the Magdalene Program in Nashville that helps these women recover and get on their feet again. And Thistle Farms is a spa products manufacturing company. So they make, soaps and bath oils and various, candles and things like that. All the women who are employed there have come through the Magdalene program. So they've come off the street, come out of their abusive relationships or situations, and they're working full time at this company to manufacture these spa products. So it's an absolutely amazing place and something that's very, very close to my heart. One of the songs on my record is about the experience of being in an abusive relationship and escaping from it, and that's something that I went through in my own life and decided to write about and share on my record in hopes that, men out there will hear the song. It's something that I connect with and with these women, and I'm really proud to be a part of that organization.
Sounds like you are. Now, when Victoria Banks has a day off, and I'm sure you don't get very many of them, if you get to do whatever you wanted to do in the whole wide world other than sit back, relax, and sleep for a day, what would it be?
Well, this is going to sound kind of lame, but when I have a day off, I like to write. That's what I write. I write my songs. So for me, the songwriting process isn't really work. So, but you don't just have to, sit at a desk or sit there with your guitar to write. I'll go out and go for a walk or go see a movie or go to the coffee shop and meet with friends, and I listen to what people are talking about, and I look at what's going on around me, and I have those antenna tuned all the time, and I try to get song ideas, and then I'll start writing a new song, and that's kind of a relaxing experience for me.
Well, Victoria, what we do here on the AVR Morning Show to wrap up the interviews, we have the Fast and Furious 5, which is 5 fast questions, 5 fast answers from you. Are you ready to play along?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. What is the last song you put on your MP3 player?
Oh, man. Okay, the last song on my MP3 player is, it's something that one of my co-writers wrote, so it's not even released yet, but it's a song that my co-writer Rachel Proctor wrote that I really love, that I hope we will be hearing on the radio soon.
When you go out to eat at a restaurant, what do you order the most?
Usually, I'll order something Italian. I love Italian food. So pasta, which is my downfall, but I love it.
Do you have a pet? And if you don't have a pet, which one would you like to have?
I do have a pet. He is a hound / German Shepherd mix, and his name is Sammy Davis Jr. Jr.
What's your favorite meal to make at home and then serve to your friends?
Oh, well, it's not really a meal, but it's a dessert. I love to make Nanaimo bars because I didn't know this till I started living in the States, but Nanaimo bars are strictly Canadian, and Americans don't know what they are. So when I make those, they are completely blown away because they're amazing, and then I'm everybody's best friend after that.
On your website, all kinds of pictures with you and guitars. If you could only play one guitar for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My baby. That's my J45 Gibson acoustic guitar. I love it, and that's what I take with me on the road everywhere I go.
All right, thanks a lot for joining me today, Victoria.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it.
AVR, today's best country.